Hi class, I wanted to give you a little bit of video feedback. Your grade will be forthcoming, if not immediately after this, but I wanted to make sure you had some things to start on. First off, let's just jump right in. I'm going to look at these as a first-time site visitor. So you'll see me maybe pause at places if things don't seem clear. That should be a message in itself. But yeah, I'm just going to respond to this as I first land on your site. Okay, great color on this one. Absolutely love it. Easy to read. This is just beautiful. I think the navigation needs to be a little higher contrast. I'll make sure I have my light up a little bit. Not too bad. It's not too bad. Actually, it's probably fine. And this is good contrast. All of this is really good. I think we only need one of these sets. And let's see, this is linked. So this would be a subscription button, probably. Well, it wouldn't have to be. I mean, I guess if you wanted to put it over here, or put your links closer to it, that's when you were graphic design, if you took graphic design. If you're in digital cinematography, you may not have, but you know the principle of proximity. So you want to have anything that is related to something near it. Okay. Beautiful textures. Easy to read. Okay. The background here needs to come out, I think. I'm not sure. I think that may be the template. Not sure. And the way you do that is you're going to go into your Wix editor over to the left to the letter A with the color drop, and that's your site design. You can go in and change the background there. That's one way to do it. If you change it to white, it will, a solid color, it will disappear. Okay. All your content is above the scroll. Really great job following instructions. This is a little hard to read, especially I did check your mobile a minute ago, so it's a little harder to read, the contrast. Think about this. This is where you're planning your video showcase. These are kind of small in relationship to the page, so you might, I do love that you've done this. You know, a lot of students don't. But there is no drop down, so that could probably be removed unless you want to actually add a little more. Bring this closer to this. You could have, you know, this a little bigger and this one a little bigger probably. Make sure that when you are working in your editor that everyone has their window set to actual size. Sometimes they'll work at 80%, sometimes you might work at smaller, and so it will look different in the browser. All right. All right. Well done. Well done. These you want to align and bring this up. Just some layout issues. This is a little hard to read because it's that font that has the very narrow stroke. So this is a little heavy, but it also needs to be in a darker color. We need a little more headroom here. And this, if you could have a thumbnail here, that would be good. If you're going to do it like this on the side, you could do this one on the right side. I'm sorry, this one on the left side. No, I was right the first time. Have this one with this content over here on the right, this one down here with this content on the left. This moves over to here with this over on the right. So it's kind of staggered back and forth. Okay, that's one way you can do it. You don't have a lot of scrolling, so that's good. But so if you wanted to, you could make these larger and scroll through 3. That would be not too bad, not too bad. All right, looks really good. Let's check out your mobile. Okay. You want to close these spaces, and when you make those corrections of the background and so forth, these will, come on over to your mobile. Close this space down here. You only need one of these, okay? So I would center this with that and take out the other two. Decide which icons you like. Clear. Yeah. So probably need a little bit of an introduction here instead of cinematographer. Just a little bit about, a very little about your philosophy. A line or two is all, not long, not a paragraph. Center that, bring it up to close that gap. This is working out really well, easy to read, except for this header. Okay, we want to get rid of that and close all this. And again, this needs to be easier to read. Center this title, and I would be consistent with your font style. Okay, all right, and a lot of that's going to change when you edit your desktop view. All right. All right, great job. I'm looking forward to seeing this. Okay. Nice, clean. Try not to crop. If you're going to do this, then try to keep the sleeve generally. Well, there's enough of it that it's okay. It looks purposeful. Okay, if you are graduating soon, before you launch this site, go ahead and say, I am a Full Sail University graduate in digital cinematography. Good, good. There's something about this stacking and variety of text. This is really strong. You have, clear text. What you can do is just, go ahead and put the attribution to Jeff Bezos down here after that. If you, for some reason, want that there because, it's a little more eye-catching perhaps, that's fine, but maybe this needs to come under that or something. There's just a lot of text variation going on here and spacing. Maybe even this needs to come up a little bit and group that, but I think maybe this needs to come under here. I don't know. There's this insert is giving me trouble because we have your name here, we have your name here, and about, and we've got the green and the black. So yeah, try and streamline. This works. I think it's this line. The content's important, but it's breaking up this flow of color and text. Okay, so I would work on that. For your desktop, I would go ahead and bring Designer up here with Web, and there's a lot of white space here that wouldn't be there if you had background in that photo, but that's something for you to think about in the future. If this is your personal cell number, take that off and make sure that it's a Google Voice, a free Google Voice, so that you're not putting personal information out there. If that's the case, okay. So far, it's really great. Close up any blank space. If you're having trouble bringing your footer up to close this, that means that there's content blocking it. Now I can't see this because I'm not in your editor, but if this is your footer here and you're trying to bring this up or this up, it could be that you have to grab all of this and bring it up, right, in order for something to move. If you're having trouble getting rid of that, that's sometimes the problem. Okay, so okay. Not sure exactly why that's there. The way it is. I mean, if it were coming up here, maybe. Instead of saying we, if it's a you, then just say I specialize, or specializing in creative posts, like a market campaign, however you want to word it, but instead of we, unless you're a group. Okay. I really like the way you have this laid out. Okay. All right. So, some of these open pop-ups allow you to give a little context for these. You have them for your videos. Try to let the user control whether it plays or not. Looks good. Okay. All right. It's looking good. All right. Nice work. So this is all right to have it centered because it does make a fairly decent shape. I mean, it'd be better if that can come out like that, but those are things you can't control usually. But that's why we left a line for a nice edge. But again, this issue you can work out. This probably needs to be centered if everything else is going to be centered. You could also left align this, but work that out. I trust that you can. And of course, the break works here. Yeah, it would look rather stacked otherwise. Nice spacing. Close the gap. That will, of course, correct itself when you correct the other. We go back to home. Your home button is your contact. Okay, and that's your home. Which means you don't need a home button because you already have a contact, right? Okay. Nice work. Very clean, very fresh. Good job. All right, Natalie, let's avoid videos over images. All right, especially when the image is actually overpowering. It's a good idea just to not do it. If it were the reverse, if this were a very set back black and white image and this were full color, maybe, but as a rule, I just don't overlap images and video. To begin with, it has to be very carefully selected. This is looking good. Take this font and use it potentially up here and here. All right, it reads better. You can see that when we change pages that the background of the template is still there. Again, go back into the site design. That in your Wix editor is the letter A with the color drop. And if you do that, you have an opportunity to change the background. If you make it a solid white color, it should go away. So that's something everybody wants to do. Good. Good, good, good. Yeah, that background. Make sure that we're not running over. I don't know if this applies to both of these or if it's just the way it's separated. Use the same size fonts and something easier to read. Okay. Okay, so I think you're going to want to just use white font like you have everywhere else. Try and keep the same treatment for all of them. The same fonts, the same size, the same style of, you're doing that. This looks pretty good. It's nice overall. It's really nice. It's just a little bit of tweaking. Yeah, be consistent with your fonts and font size, or separate this if that's a call to action. Remember to use a Google Voice or free phone number if that's your personal. And probably change that color. This, I think, is your background. That's smart. Okay, let's look at your mobile. We want your name and your skill in the top, in the header for your mobile for sure. Really should be for every page. And once you clean that up, that will come across differently there. Mind the break here. You'll have to adjust that. And your image isn't coming over. You need that. You'll adjust, all this layout and the order of things. And yeah, you'll do that after you make your corrections in your desktop. So you may not have as many changes. And yeah, after you make your adjustments, take a look at that. I'm not sure this is legible enough. You may only need phone. Take this out so it's phone and email. And I'm looking for your social links. So you need some social links on your contact page at least, or added to your footer. All right. All right. You've got some, a bulk of work that you've begun here. You really just need to organize it a little bit more, but you're really close. Can't wait to see it next week. All right. This is a difficult font to read. The size is small. It's also the style. I know it probably comes with your template, but it's just really hard to read. So we need to make it larger. Avoid having it justified left and right, because as you can see, you've got gaps in your tracking in your sentences here. So we want to correct that. Probably this should be left aligned. This is okay where it is. These are okay centered, but I would left align the text. Size isn't too bad for what it is. I would left align it, probably make it wider, but they're consistent, and that's great, and the color is great. Okay. These don't look to be the same size, but it's okay. They're working. It's not that noticeable for some reason, but good job. Not sure you need this. I would at this time take this out. It's very easy to add your search button, but I would take it out for now. And let's see, what is this? This would be up in, it wouldn't be under your contact page, and you want your contact to be last. You don't really have enough here to have a blog, but you've got a lot of information on the page. So I would probably disable this for now. I think it's a great place to show a variety of work because it organizes it in a blog, but you would need a little more. This is a really hard font to read, so keep that in mind. And your contact goes last. Events. Let's rename this to videos or something like that. I know that these are events, but in a website, when we say events, it really is talking more about upcoming events, not things that you've photographed. This is work that you've done, so it should either say event videos or something, or just videos. Event videos is long, so if there's something that you can get that to come across without it being 2 words, that would be even better. Let's not have a drop down for your bio. Drop downs just tend to look unorganized if they're not necessary, and it's not really necessary here. Okay, nice. Just the font style needs to be probably a sans serif, something like this is easier to read. And be sure that you are linking your socials. Remove this image. What you want to do, if you want to replicate this, go to campus if you can, or go somewhere, a studio, and try and replicate something like this. But because you're a cinematographer, you want it to be your own work. So even if it's just not there, it's better, okay? Because they'll want to assume it's yours, and it appears to be stock. If it's not, let me know and put your name down here. But I think this came with the template, perhaps. There are a lot of them. They look very similar, is why, and I don't like to assume that you can't produce that quality of work. But okay, So let's see. Okay, something I wanted to see. Be careful of this, right? Mm. Make these the same number of lines and the same number of lines if you're going to do this. Okay, that's taking us to our home page, so be mindful of those links. These should be linking to their specific types of video. You may not need all of these. You may only need these. You may only need this. In which case, you're going to name it the same as your page in your navigation. Okay, yeah. So watch for that overlapping of text. Use this throughout. If this is the font you're going to use it throughout. And different, easier to read font here. Mm. So just a little cleanup, that's all, for readability. That's contrast needs to be improved, and probably something like this, but a little lighter, but not much, and a finer stroke, that is. We talked about this. Okay. There's interesting linking going on. This should be staying in your mobile, but it's taking me to your desktop, so so just keep checking that. You have that to fix here. You could keep this up here, the logo, and bring that underneath, make your logo a little bigger. I would take the search button off for sure. And your buttons should have the same fonts. Yeah, so functionality is the main thing here, and the navigation and readability. Close that, and linking up your socials, yeah. But the work is good. The work is coming across well. Little alignment issues on the text. Make sure that wasn't the template phone number. So that needs to be updated. Okay. I would put about 5 hours more into this to comfortably adjust it. You could probably do it in less, but I would set that aside, and I would take this page out, the blog out for now. All right. I'm interested in seeing where this is going to go. Let's keep an eye on the navigation. Could be it just needs to be refreshed as far as where it's the format that it's taking us to. But yeah, make those corrections and submit that later this week. And I think that you'll be very happy with what you have. Good job. Okay. All right, this image, again, this is a placeholder we want to remove. Good job, you linked up. Remove any personal numbers, phone numbers. It's enough to have your email. Make sure that's yours. Okay. This tends to look like code to me in a way. I think that these are better. But if you're going to use these, I would bring them down here somewhere and I would give them better spacing and I would use proper capitalization. In this situation, it doesn't look like a style. Let's see. But it's nice and clean. Okay. I probably would move this image over a little bit. It kind of looks like it's floating, and if it's going to do that, then it needs to be centered. I would work on getting a few professional images. Just taking your phone around your home is better than something I had, 10 years ago probably. That would have cost a fortune. So find natural lighting and see how many professional shots you can get. You'll never regret having them. Okay. This needs to come out. This is easy to read and it's aligned. Okay. I would probably put those, I'd probably bring this one up because it might blend well with the others. But definitely take this out, this image, it's placeholder. And you'll need higher contrast here. I would remove that image. Even if you just have no image, that would be fine. All right, let's look at your mobile. I'm going to change this to something that's yours. Okay. And get a photo of you with the camera, doing something. That would be appropriate for you as well. Close this space. You may want a different color here. Choose something that, let's see, this isn't working. Either that or the files are very big. So I believe it was working on your desktop. Make sure that's linked. I'm going to refresh, see if that helps. Okay. Sometimes that's what you need. This will change. And right now, yeah, you want to affect that. I would probably move your subscription. I don't know. This gets a little stacking here. So I would maybe center this will help, but there seems to be a lot of little details here. Okay. You can also bring this closer. Put your email here if you want. That may help if you close that gap and center that, but probably I would just take this phone number off as well. And then you're going to bring all of this up and probably put a larger title that says Works or Portfolio if that's what you're saying there. Whatever you're saying in your navigation should be the same. and changing that. All right. Make sure that you aren't clipping anything in your header. Yeah, so that's throughout. This needs to be deeper. Okay. Great start. Great start. All right, Vanessa, hello again. Okay, I remember your work. Let's see. You're linked up. That's good. This could be a little higher contrast. Keep in mind, any video is going to slow down, or animation will slow down your site. Okay. Let's I think that this is enough up here, and I would take your name off here, believe it or not, and say creative direction and brand strategy. I would remove that image. I think you agree it's not working there, and I would remove that. I would enlarge this a little bit, and let's see, sorry about that. This is all right. That's good. It needs to be centered. This probably is a little hard to read. So maybe you could put it in a pink or something like this. I think I would make this left align. We'll clean that up. Okay, we have to be careful with the drop downs, but I get that these may be different campaigns, and so that's not a bad way to do that. But we do need to have fewer fonts going on here. Okay, right, I remember. I think what you want to do, image also to match our latest music releases. We need to simplify this. We've got this is what would go, with these, maybe even at the bottom here. Okay, it shouldn't be our biggest eye drawer. Sorry, it shouldn't draw our eye first. It looks good with this. The font looks good. If you wanted to make this in this font, that would work, but I think this needs to go below the work. This is what you're talking about as far as your marketing and what she does. This is just your guide as to what you did, what it is, and that could come down here somewhere. I know it's laid out pretty well, but yeah, they're kind of competing. Perhaps, yeah, a little big font compared to this one, and change, okay? But overall, it's looking good. Okay. This one, for some reason, works a little better, maybe because it's got, perhaps more lines of text. That one has 5, and this one has 6. It's just somehow working a little better. You can go back and forth and see what the difference is and why. But it could just be the number of rows. It could be anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But good stuff. Good work. Okay. This is a little crowded. If you look at the ascender and descender space, it's a little tight, the line spacing. So, yeah, this might be better with 2 rows instead of 3. So, if you can condense that instead of fine art photography, that might be something that is just in your about. And you can disagree. Maybe this needs to come down here on this line. I don't know. I would work on that a little bit. It's a little tight. Okay. Good, good. All right. Let's look at the mobile. Yeah, those, close that up just a little. Avoid covering text. Close that up. Higher contrast. Okay. A little less so that we're not scrolling as much to read. And you may be able to bring this out a little bit. I don't know if you can here because of the words, but yeah, underscore. This is a situation where you would, after you get everything polished where you want it, you would really go in and craft the length of your words and where you put them so that they fall a little better and make a better shape. But that is a last detail, right? But I would say take a few lines out of each paragraph in your mobile. Terrific. That font's a little hard to read. And close that a little. Okay, so you want to make sure that your contact is actually anchored to your contact information. To right here, right? And that would be great. But it's looking good. I do appreciate the colors that you've chosen in this way. Okay, there's a lot of great things going on. Close this up a little, but not quite so deep. Yeah, it's really in great shape, and the work is terrific. So very, very little to tweak here. The about images are terrific. The quality is great. The layout is great. So yeah, very little work to do still. Okay. Well, everybody, you've had a great week. I'm looking forward to seeing your revisions and where you're going to be by the end of the week. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please reach out, contact me. The best way is through the feedback of your assignment. It links directly to your work, and I can respond more quickly. So other than that, I will see you online and keep producing terrific stuff.